Ukraine says Russia launched more than 200 missiles and drones at Ukrainian targets overnight in one of the largest air attacks in recent weeks. Less than half were intercepted. In Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv, Russian strikes killed at least 3 people and injured more than 20. Dozens of homes were damaged in what officials say was the most powerful strike on the city since the start of the full-scale invasion. Marina Miron is a military analyst at the Defense Studies Department at King's College London. She joins us now from Munich. Marina, Kharkiv's mayor called the overnight strikes on the city the most powerful attack on the city since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. What do you think the objective of this attack was? What were they targeting?
Good day. Well, some observers note that it could be Russia's response to the attack on Russian strategic bombers and on the Kerch Bridge. However, I think that it might be just the beginning, and it's not the actual response. And of course, the Russian side is reporting strikes on military infrastructure. The Ukrainian side is reporting attacks on civilians, on civilian buildings. So from a military logic, there is no point in bombing civilians. However, if it is a military infrastructure, then I think Russia is trying to destroy Ukraine's military capacity, or what is left in terms of production, in terms of military industry, as well as the energy infrastructure. And I think that will be the main focal point now.
Well, if this was not the response to that attack, and we'll remind viewers that happened earlier this month, where Ukrainians managed to damage or destroy 41 Russian bombers, then what could the Kremlin's response to that attack look like? What scale can we expect?
I don't think we're talking about the scale or increasing scale of one particular attack. I think we're talking about more of a prolonged response in that Russia will be trying to completely destroy Ukrainian energy and infrastructure. And it has been trying to do so for several years now. And I think this will be the turning point where Russia will not be holding back. And interestingly enough, Donald Trump warned about the fact that Russia will not respond in a nuclear fashion. So I think they will be going after energy infrastructures. They might be also targeting HQs, maybe SBU headquarters, or whatever they can find, or the Russian intelligence can find.
Are you suggesting that up to this point that Russia was holding back in some way? That the attack that was launched against its bombers early this month somehow gives Russia license, as it were, to now go full scale?
Well, in a certain way, if you look at Russian reports, they never report targeting HQs. They report only targeting military infrastructure. And therefore, I think that they might be going then after the SBU, especially after what happened with the Black Sea Fleet. It was also SBU's operation using naval drones, and now what happened inside Russia. So I think that they will slightly change their targeting, so and the scope of the targeting as well.
Meanwhile, we should mention Russian forces are advancing in the northern Ukrainian region of Sumy. From your standpoint, are we seeing the start of the much-expected Russian summer offensive? And what do we know about the Kremlin's objective there?
Well, what we're seeing now, essentially, because the weather is favorable after the operational tempo has slowed during springtime, we see an increase in activity. And we're seeing the advancements in Sumy. We're seeing advancements. The Russian armed forces are very close to the border of Dnipropetrovsk region. Therefore, I think that the offensive is already underway as it's gaining traction. So the offensive operations never stop, but now it is going to be taking place in much more coordinated fashion. And I think the operational tempo will also increase. One of the reasons for that is that Putin asked to create a buffer zone. So it could be an attempt to create the said buffer zone, especially if we're looking at Sumy, if we're looking at Kharkiv. However, we also know that the Russians redeployed their forces from Kursk to Pokrovsk direction, meaning that the activities there will continue as well. Where the main focus of this offensive operation is going to be is unclear. Could be Kherson, could be Zaporizhia, could be in the north. So it's still very much unclear, but the offensive is already underway.
Okay, good to see you, Marina. That's a military analyst, Marina Miron.
Thank you for having me.